All right. Hello, everyone out there in YouTube world. I want to first start off by saying thank you so much to everyone that have liked, comment, and shared my first vlog on my cancer journey that I posted not too long ago. I wasn't really sure how it would have been received, but I am very encouraged to continue on in my journey of vlogging and educating or attempting to educate those on bladder cancer and all that it entails. Again, excuse me if I'm awkward speaking on camera, because I hate looking at myself and I hate recording myself. But this is very, very near and dear to my heart, and I thought this would probably be the best way for me to get the word out, and also to, just let my supportive community of love friends know that I'm gonna get through this, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys' support, whether it's in the form of a prayer, a voice note, a text, a card, whatever, even just a thought. I just appreciate each and every one of you guys for just being a part of this journey with me. So today I wanted to talk about how I found out I had bladder cancer. So it was back in 2017. It was in November. It was a week and a half before, probably 2 weeks before, no, excuse me. Let me go back. It was not, well, yes, it was. It was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving that I found out I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. Prior to that, my symptoms, and that was one of the questions that one of my friends had brought up. How did I know I had bladder cancer? What were my symptoms? And that's a very important question for many reasons. For bladder cancer, the main symptoms are blood and urine. Typically, most individuals will have, at some point in time, traces of blood in the urine, usually not consistently, but every now and then they may notice when they go to urinate that there's blood in the urine. So for me, there was not that sign. I did not have the blood in the urine at all. My major symptom was urgency. I woke up one morning, or went to bed one night, I should say, and kept on waking up to go to the bathroom. And when I went out to work, for those who know, don't know, I am a traveling therapist, mobile therapist, which means I go to clients' homes to treat them. So I'm always on the road. So when you're on the road a lot, you try to limit the amount of fluid intake, because me, I don't like going to the bathroom in my clients' homes usually, and I hate to have to stop frequently because that messes up my schedule and yada yada yada. Anyway, so throughout my day, I just kept on having to go to the bathroom. And it was constant, and it was just driving me crazy for weeks on end, leading up to me then making an appointment to see my my OBGYN. I actually called them first because as a woman, the first thing you think about when you have frequent urination is UTI. And that was what I thought it was. I know it wasn't pregnant. So, that was out of the question. So I contacted my OBGYN and they got me in. She did a urinalysis. She did a vaginal exam in the office and everything was good. My urine sample showed no detection of or traces of blood in the urine. Her exam showed nothing, no abnormalities going on that she could physically see or feel. So she was perplexed, as I was, and she referred me to my primary care doctor, who I went to see, and she basically did the same thing. She did the urinalysis, and there was no traces of blood. Prior to me seeing my primary doctor, I actually had just seen her for a physical, my yearly physical, and all of my lab works, blood work, everything was normal, was good. No high blood pressure, no diabetes, no elevated white blood cell counts, nothing that would, trigger or alarm anyone that something may be going on. So my primary care doctor then referred me to a urologist. Urologist is a doctor that specializes in the male and female parts. To keep it in simple terms. So I went to see the urologist, and he looked at me like, well, first the nurse practitioner, God bless her soul. I'm here today because of her. I really give her a lot of credit. They, usually do the examination, take, initial intake questions. And then the doctor comes in and, does his little physical exam or whatever. He initially did not think that anything was wrong with me. He thought that maybe I had prolapsed bladder or a weak bladder from having kids, which really didn't make sense because yes, I have 2 kids, but I never pushed them out. I had 2 C-sections. So the doctor suggested that I go home and do some Kegel exercises to help to strengthen up my bladder muscles, in hopes that would improve things, because once again, when they did the urine sample in the office, they didn't see anything. And in the meantime, they wanted me to follow up with getting I'm losing my train of thought, with getting a scan. Why am I forgetting the exact word of the scan? Not a CAT scan, that did come later. I had an ultrasound, excuse me. That's what I had first. I had an ultrasound of my bladder. That did detect cancer cells in my bladder. So then I followed up with a CAT scan. The CAT scan is what determined that I had this large tumor compressing on my urethra. So immediately, once my urologist got that report, called me back into the office. He then went in with a scope into my bladder to see if he could detect the tumor. As soon as he went in, he couldn't even go too far in because the tumor was that big, and he had to come right back out and call me into his office and immediately told me that he's 99% sure it's cancer. It's a huge tumor, and we need to get it out. So this was 2 weeks prior to Thanksgiving. Anyone that knows me well, knows that Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And I was not happy at all with this news. Obviously, I wasn't happy with the news, but I wasn't happy at the timing of getting this news, because I was already preparing for Thanksgiving, preparing for my family to come, and boom, this happened. So, obviously, the tears, they were a lot. Thankfully, I had one of my very good friends there with me, because, obviously I knew that it was cancer, and, after getting the news, I asked my doctor, I'm like, why me? How did this happen? 37 years old. I'm a woman. I'm here in this office with nothing but old men. Those are usually the people that go to urologists. Old men. Not 37-year-old women usually, for that matter. And my disease is an old man's disease. That's what it's termed as, or was termed as, because as I stated in the previous video, usually men over the age of 55, heavy smokers, if you're exposed or worked in a factory around chemicals, develop bladder cancer. Or if you have a family history of bladder cancer, which I do not. I also want to touch on that. Someone else had brought up that question, whether it's genetic. I had genetic testing done prior to me going through chemo, when I found out I had kidney cancer, and there was no gene detected that would cause me to have bladder cancer. Sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call. So as far as genetic testing goes, I did have genetic testing done when I was diagnosed and going through the kidney journey. And the genetic testing showed that I don't have any family history of bladder cancer, and I don't have any gene mutation that would cause me to have bladder cancer. There is a connection with having bladder cancer and having the Lynch syndrome. You can Google it. I don't have that connection when they did my genetic testing, so it's a mystery. It really is a mystery as to why I got cancer. I do believe, just personally, when it comes to cancer, that it has a lot to do with what we put in our bodies, the chemicals that they put in our foods, the environment that we live in, the pollution that we inhale on a daily basis. There's only so much that we can avoid. But that's just my own personal mindset on the whole, cancer, especially when it's a form of cancer that you don't have any history of in your family, or any genetic connection to why you would have it. So I also wanted to kind of touch on another question that was brought up, and that was why did I choose, or why have I chosen to have my bladder removed, and why have I chosen the type of reconstructive surgery. So to answer the first question, this has been a 5-year long journey, dealing with bladder cancer. A lot of ups and downs. I feel like you're on a roller coaster constantly, and it just never ends. And up to the point where I need it to end so that I can move forward with my my life, and not constantly have these hiccups, because they really do start to affect you as a whole. Especially, just me personally being independent business owner. If I don't work, I can't get paid. Bills have to get paid. So, having this disruption where I have to take off from work, it really interrupts my livelihood. So I decided, due to the fact that it keeps on coming back, I keep on having reoccurrences pretty frequently. As I stated before, I go every 6 months for checkups, and I've only had, I want to say one, maybe 2 all clears, but they were very short-lived. The last one was 8 months long. So I really need to get rid of this beast so that I can once and for all get on with life, and not have this, I want to say, lingering over my head, because it's still going to be lingering, because once you're a cancer patient, you're always thinking, is it going to metastasize? Is it going to go somewhere else? Because that, you always run that risk of it going somewhere else, liver, lungs, you name it. But I don't want to even put that into the universe. I'm staying very positive that won't happen, and that once we have the surgery to remove the bladder, then all will be well going forward. Really looking forward to planning my son's graduation, which is coming up next year. I have a lot of goals that I need and want to achieve in 2023, and I really kind of want this to be on the back burner. So that was the main reason for me, and it was suggested also by my urologist, by my team of doctors a while back, that I probably should start considering having it removed, so that I don't have to continue to go through all of these scrapings, which is the TURP surgery that I had spoke about prior to, which I've had several of those procedures done over the 5 years. And they're as little or big as they may seem, because I've gone through them so many times, it still takes a toll on your body. So this major surgery, it will put me down for a couple of months, but I will be back stronger and better than I am now. So that was my main reason for that. The second question was, why am I choosing to have a bag, ilio conduit, with a bag attachment? And if you know what that is or don't know what that is, I may go in more detail at a later time, but basically I'll have an apparatus that I would urinate in instead of the way we typically go. Versus them being able to convert my intestine into a sac. That is what they call a neobladder, and they can actually create a sac, which is considered your new bladder once they remove it, and you have to train that that sac. I'm not using the right terminology, but you would have to train that to to hold the urine and eliminate the urine at the same time. So that I would have rather had done because it's not visible. It's all internal, and you know, as a woman, you know, young woman, fairly young, 42, not that young anymore, but you know, I would definitely have liked to have gone that route, but because I do have one kidney, I would run the risk of frequent infections and also putting a lot of strain on my one kidney, which I don't need because I need it to have a good quality of life. And if God forbid something happens to my kidney, you know, that would lead to other complications, having to be on dialysis. You know, if I have to have it removed, it's just, you know, it's just a multitude of other complications that it's just not worth taking that risk. So that is why I opted for the bag, and that's going to be my new way of avoiding. It's going to be a huge change. It's going to be very different, but I know that I will adjust, and you know, life will go on as usual. There are so many people probably that I know that may have had it or we've encountered and you didn't even know they had it. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting through this one day at a time, and look forward to, you know, what this journey holds for me. If you guys have any questions that you would like for me to answer, please feel free to leave a comment below, and I will definitely answer any questions that you have. I would like to make another video about the different stages of bladder cancer and kind of where I'm at right now, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to make these videos too long because if you're anything like me, attention span is pretty short. So yeah, I just kind of want to give you a little bit and, you know, let you kind of digest it, and, you know, feel free please to ask any questions and share, you know, like, as they say, comment, subscribe to my channel, and look forward to coming back with another great informal or informational video.